Hello, movie freaks. Welcome back to my channel. So, I'm going to be trying something different. It's going to be a voiceover, and it's going to be the complete timeline of the Scream franchise. I haven't seen a lot of these, so I'm kind of leaning towards a detailed one. So, I do have all that written down. Um, Also, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. It sounds a little bit different on my end, but we'll just see how it goes. And let's go ahead and get started. So it all began in 1950 with the birth of Maureen Roberts. At the age of about 19 in about 1969, Maureen moved to Hollywood to pursue her acting career under the alias of Rena Reynolds. She stars in a few of John Milton's movies. At basically like a coming out party, she is getting raped by John Milton and associates and becomes pregnant, presumably by Milton. About 1970, Maureen gives birth to her first son, Roman, and then gives him up for adoption. In 1971, Maureen tries to expose Milton by letting everybody know what happened to her at that party. She is then blacklisted. She moves back to Woodsboro, and at some point from 1971 to 1979, she meets her husband, Neil Prescott, and they have a daughter together named Sydney. 1993 or 1994, Jill Roberts is born to Maureen's younger sister, Kate. No husband is mentioned. At about maybe September 1994, Billy Loomis and Sydney start dating in their sophomore year of high school at Woodsboro High. Late fall 95 or mid October 95 or possibly even September, Roman Bridger tracks down his mother, who is now Maureen Prescott, but she turns him away, basically telling him that he was Rena's son and Rena is no longer. He begins to stalk her and record her, and in turn catching her having many affairs with Cotton Weary and Hank Loomis, who is Billy Loomis's father. Nancy Loomis leaves Hank due to his infidelity. I'm going to say Nancy because Nancy is mentioned a lot of times as her name, so that's what I'm going to go with. Roman uses this evidence to convince Billy to kill Maureen. October 1995, Billy Loomis basically peer pressures his friend Stu Mocker to help him kill Maureen Prescott, and then blame Cotton Weary. This occurs 1 year before the events of the very first Scream. Between October 1995 and October 96, Cotton is arrested and convicted of first-degree murder of Maureen Prescott. After Sydney testifies against him, claiming she saw him leaving the Prescott house covered in blood. Late 95 or early 96, Gail Weathers writes her first known book, Wrongly Accused, The Murder of Maureen Prescott. This enrages Sydney. Gail basically writes a lot of articles calling Sydney a liar and basically claiming that Cotton Weary was innocent. October 1996, Gail is planning to write a follow-up book, the first one to be released later that year of 1996. Later 1995 or June 96, sophomore year, or it could be late 96, June 1997, senior year, Sydney plays Tiger Lily and Judy Hicks plays a Lost Boy. Why I'm doing it in two separate, sophomore and senior, because Judy Hicks mentions in Scream 4 that she was going a lot and didn't expect her to remember Judy. This could mean it was at the time of the death of her mother, or it could be the aftermath of when the murders occurred, where all of her friends were slaughtered. Approximately October, this is pre-Scream, Billy impregnates fellow student Christina. So Christina has been mentioned as the name of Sam Carpenter. She cheats on her boyfriend, and Billy cheats on Sydney. Mid-late October 96, the events of Scream takes place between Wednesday and Friday. 1997, Sid, along with Randy, graduate and move to Ohio to attend Windsor College. Gail writes and publishes The Woodsboro Murders. Sunrise Studio gives a horror film named Stab, based on the Woodsboro Murders, a green light. And it's directed by no other than John Milton. Approximately early 1997, Samantha Carpenter is born. And approximately late 1998, the events of Scream 2 happen 2 years after the events of the very first Scream. 1998, Gail Weathers writes the Windsor College Murders while Dewey recovers. 1999, Stab 2, based on the Windsor Murders and Gail Weathers' book, is greenlit. 2000, Scream 3. This is the time of Scream 3. Sid is now 21, turning 22. It's been approximately 4 years since Roman tracked down Maureen in late 1995. Gail and Dewey get engaged. 2010, Sid writes her book, Out of Darkness. 2001, Gail and Dewey marry. 2011, the setting of the fourth film. Gail and Dewey have been married for 10 years. About January, Sam uncovers her mother's deep dark secret that Billy Loomis is really her father. She is 13 at the time. While yelling at her mother, her stepfather, who she thought was her father, overhears, causing him to leave, him thinking all along he was the father of both of his daughters. 2010 or 2011, Trevor cheats on Jill Roberts with Jenny Randall. Jill begins a secret relationship with Charlie. Sid releases her book and returns to Woodsboro during her book tour. And in October 2011, the events of Scream 4 occur. Between late 2011 and 2021, Kirby relocates from Woodsboro to an undisclosed location. 2012 to 2015, Sid reconciles and marries Mark Kincaid, and they have 3 children. 2016, Sam leaves Woodsboro on her 18th birthday, leaving her 13-year-old sister Tara. She won't return for 5 years. 2016 to 2019, around that time, Judy becomes Sheriff Hicks. Sorry. 2018, Kirby gives a public interview for the first time. 2019, Gail and Dewey end their 19-year marriage and separate. Gail relocates to New York, so it doesn't really mention if they are legally divorced or if they are just separated. It doesn't say that anywhere. 2022, Scream 5, almost exactly near the 25th anniversary, happens. We see the death of Dewey. We find out that Sam is Billy Loomis's daughter, and basically all hell breaks loose. That's the end of the timeline that I have so far. We won't know much more until Scream 6 comes out. Hopefully they bring a lot of things to light that, talk about Billy's affair and different things like that. So if I have missed anything or if I've gotten anything wrong, make sure you leave that down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to hear it. This is basically what I found online, and if I can find the link of where I did find it, I will link it down below. That way you guys can read it in more detail, because I did kind of leave some stuff out that I didn't see relevant to it. So if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you have not done so already, and make sure you stay tuned for my updated ranking of the Scream franchise. So I'll see you guys next time.